Good Friday morning, and thank you for being with us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your headlines. This morning, blizzard and winter storm warnings are in effect for northern Minnesota. Right now, the Xcel Energy outage map shows nearly 10,000 customers are affected by electricity disruptions in Minnesota. The weather is also impacting road conditions, with several completely covered roads north of Moose Lake and all along the North Shore right now. And the scene in downtown Duluth just a few hours ago, pretty bad.
You can't measure the snow here. I mean, the snow is just blowing around everywhere, and it'll continue to do so throughout the rest of the night. Kind of get a handful, make a snowball, and you can't.
That's meteorologist Brendan Pham from our Duluth news partner out in the elements. Flights are also being canceled in and out of MSP. This morning, 9 canceled arrivals and 8 canceled departures, and dozens of delayed flights. Those numbers will likely go up throughout the weekend, so make sure you check on your flight status before you head out. We're going to check in with our weather team in just a little bit, get your full forecast here. Back to operations in Iran this morning. In the last few hours, we heard from the Pentagon giving an update nearly 2 weeks into fighting across the Middle East.
The United States is decimating the radical Iranian regime's military in a way the world has never seen before. Never before has a modern, capable military, which Iran used to have, been so quickly destroyed and made combat ineffective, devastated. We said it would not be a fair fight, and it has not been.
This comes as we're learning that all 6 people on board are dead after a U.S. military refueling plane crashed in Iraq. U.S. Central Command says the aircraft didn't go down because of hostile or friendly fire, but it was lost while flying over friendly airspace. Authorities did note that the incident is under investigation. Back in the United States, the FBI is investigating 2 separate attacks as acts of terrorism. While the attacks do not seem to be connected, they're raising security concerns about threats to the U.S. amid ongoing war with Iran. In the last 24 hours, the FBI raided the home of a suspect who opened fire at Old Dominion University in Virginia yesterday morning. Officials say a 36-year-old man targeted an ROTC class, shooting 3 people and killing an instructor before being subdued and killed himself. Jackie Benson has the latest.
This is the FBI. We have a federal search warrant. Come out now with your hands up and nothing in your hands.
Just after 9 p.m., an FBI SWAT team arrived in armored personnel carriers at the cul-de-sac of townhomes just off Leesburg Pike in Sterling and headed straight to the address listed in court paperwork from 2016 as the residence of accused Old Dominion University gunman Mohammed Baylor Jallow. He was killed in this morning's incident. They ordered the occupants of the home outside. Some were in their night clothes. SWAT team members blocked the entrance to the development while they went inside the home. About 40 minutes later, a 6-car caravan of what appeared to be FBI agents arrived and went into the home with evidence-gathering equipment. It comes 10 hours after a suspected terror attack played out on the campus of Old Dominion University.
Reports of an active shooter in the building.
Just before 11 a.m., officials say 36-year-old Mohammed Jallow specifically targeted an ROTC class on the Norfolk, Virginia campus.
We have confirmed reports that prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted or stated Allah Akbar.
Pastor Jermaine Bago's son was in the room and called him soon after the gunfire broke out.
He was very distraught and nervous. You can hear it in his voice, but he wanted to let me and his mother know that he was okay, that he was unharmed.
At Jallow's 2016 trial, FBI agents alleged he purchased an AR-15 rifle at a Northern Virginia gun store and range, a weapon they claim he planned to use in a terrorist attack on U.S. soil, specifically an attack on U.S. military. Neighbor Kenneth Brown remembers the 2016 raid and says he always thought something was off with Jallow.
Something about this guy here is just not right about him. Something is different, you know? He can never look at you.
Also this morning, a suspect in the synagogue ramming attack in Michigan has been identified by the Department of Homeland Security. They say the 41-year-old was born in Lebanon and became a U.S. citizen in 2016. The FBI has confirmed the attack that only left the suspect dead was a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Brian Abel reports from West Bloomfield Township, Michigan.
Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan was on alert over the last 2 weeks after the police chief there had warned synagogues in the area about the potential for violence. The congregation's concerns realized on Thursday afternoon when a suspect rammed his vehicle all the way into the Detroit area synagogue.
This is your home, and to have something happen like this in your actual home is just been absolutely heartbreaking and shaken this community to its core.
The suspect was armed with a rifle and a large amount of explosives. Security engaged the suspect with gunfire, but the sheriff could not say yet what killed him. Something caught fire inside the vehicle, and according to the sheriff, the suspect's body was badly burnt.
One of the head of security was taken to the hospital. He got knocked down by the car when it breached the building, and we've had 30 law enforcement officers taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation.
The attack on one of the largest Reform Judaism congregations in the country comes amid a surge of attacks on members of the Jewish community in the U.S.
Well, I think we can absolutely draw a nexus between the war in Iran and the events. I don't think it's a coincidence that out of all the synagogues or temples that this individual could have picked, he picked the one that is named Temple Israel.
In West Bloomfield Township, Michigan, I'm Brian Abel.
Now, the attack is putting Jewish leaders here at home on high alert. Institutions like Temple Israel in Minneapolis increasing their security presence in the last 24 hours. Local Jewish leaders say coordination with local law enforcement is key in keeping Jewish institutions safe. The attack is hitting particularly close to home for Temple Israel's senior rabbi, Marcia Zimmerman.
I know people there. I know the rabbis there. This world is full of violence and pain, and my hope is that we work together to make it different.
Minnesota lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are condemning the attack and urging for an end to anti-Semitism. This morning, the Trump administration says it has temporarily lifted sanctions on certain Russian oil shipments. Officials say the move aims to ease the global energy shortage and surging oil prices. Authorities note it only applies to Russian crude oil already loaded on the ships stranded at sea amid the war with Iran. And as Iran continues its attacks on oil tankers across the Middle East, the conflict is taking a toll at the gas pumps here at home. Right now in Minnesota, it's going to cost you about $3.38 to fuel up. That's nearly 78 cents higher from this time last month. The national average is also rising this morning to $3.63 a gallon. Right now, survivors of the Annunciation shooting are rallying at the state capitol, urging lawmakers to ban assault-style weapons. Just yesterday, students and anti-gun violence advocates spoke on the steps of the Capitol, also calling for change.
How many schools must lock their doors and barricade their windows? How many desks must we leave empty in our schools today? And how many lives of our children, how many lives of our peers, our friends, and our family must be lost until change?
Today's rally comes just before a key Senate committee hearing. Lawmakers are considering a bill banning a long list of weapons, including AR-15 semi-automatic rifles. Minneapolis police say that the Annunciation school shooter used an AR-15 style rifle along with a shotgun and pistol that were all purchased legally. Right now, police are investigating around 40 car break-ins in South Minneapolis that all happened within the span of a few hours. MPD says 9 different locations were hit between 7 and 10:15 yesterday morning, with some car owners saying items were stolen. Police say they linked a stolen black SUV to the crimes and later found it abandoned. MPD is asking anyone with damage to file a police report through 311. The state's largest school district will soon be looking for a new leader after its superintendent says he is stepping down at the end of the school year. Anoka Hennepin superintendent Corey McIntyre says he will not renew his contract when it ends in June. McIntyre has been at the helm for 3 years now. Earlier this month, McIntyre was named a finalist for Wayzata School superintendent, but ultimately did not get that job. The district has not announced a timeline to hire a new superintendent. We are heading into the final weekend of the 2026 Paralympic Games in Milan Cortina, and we are tracking results from our local athletes. Earlier this morning, para-snowboarder and St. Cloud native Mike Schultz competed for a medal in the men's banked slalom. He didn't get the gold, but here he is celebrating with teammate Noah Elliott, who did. Good news, though, Schultz also got on the podium this morning with the bronze medal. Also right now, the sled hockey semifinals are underway, where Minnesota's Liam Cunningham and Landon Uthke take on Czechia with hopes of heading to a medal game on Sunday. Team USA so far has been undefeated at the Paralympics. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up right after the break.